we do well in this program is we teach our parents how to begin those hard conversations.
Yes.
Because sometimes when they're hard, we try to avoid them, which
Mhm.
is not good for the kids. So one of the things is we teach you how to start that conversation. We teach you how
Mhm.
to sit down with your children or your teenagers and have those hard conversations because yes, they have to be had. And
Welcome to Families of the Treasure Coast podcast, where real people empower real families and real stories inspire real growth. This podcast is not just for parents, it's for children and young people seeking guidance, direction, and clarity, whether it's about school, education choices, career path, or life's decisions ahead. Through honest conversation, shared experiences, and voices from our community, we explore what it means to grow, learn, and move forward with confidence. Our People Empowering People program and family focused initiatives bring real life experiences that spark new ways of thinking, kickstart your thought process, and offer ideas to help you excel. Welcome to the podcast. Today we are talking about real life parenting and teen relationships, no perfection required. I'm joined by my two incredible parent teen community connection educators, Donna Gibson and Mary Stevens. And we have a really special guest today, Mary's granddaughter, Leilani. Welcome, Leilani.
thank
So
you.
I'm so happy to have everyone because today's discussions are going to be really important. We're going to be talking about parenting and teens and connections and why PTCC, Parenting Community Connection, really matters. So we're going to start pretty easy, and I'm going to ask you for one word that describes your parenting or being a teen in your family right now. So Donna, what's one word that would come to mind for you?
It's definitely a journey.
Right? A
Yes.
lifelong journey.
It's ongoing as we speak. Yes.
Yes,
So
continuous
true.
journey.
It
Absolutely.
is. And I think that sometimes we feel like parenting is over at 18 and it never ends, never
No.
ends.
It
Never.
just,
It just changes and becomes, something different, but it's always being that parent. Yes.
Yes.
So Mary, what's one word for you that comes to mind when we talk about parenting and teens?
would say struggle. I would definitely say
Struggle.
struggle. Um, as a parent, slash grandparent, because I am raising a teenager and I am raising a teenager from the perspective of a parent in the 80s and 90s versus a parent in the 2025, 2026 years. So I would definitely say at times a struggle for sure.
Yeah, and you brought up some really good points there. I mean,
Mhm.
you're talking, that's a great generation gap from being
It
an
is.
80s,
It
90s
is.
kid
It is.
to
Yes.
to raising a 2020 baby. I mean,
With
yeah, different
technology,
worlds.
technology being a focus now, whereas we didn't have anything like that. My children never had cell phones and PS5s and all these other
Yeah.
high, highly
Right,
technology
right,
um,
exactly.
empowered young people.
Well, the
Mhm.
language is different, the values
Correct.
are different.
Mhm.
The way to even the way the kids, educate the education, the way the education system's so different. Yeah, you're
Absolutely.
right. Grandparenting and parenting, that is a tough one.
Yeah.
So I just want to take a little bit to ask you to tell us a little bit about yourselves and what led you to become an educator for Families of the Treasure Coast and Parenting Community Connection. So why does working with parents and teen matter? I'm going to ask that of Mary there. Why does it matter?
11 years working at the public library and then ventured off into the school system where I taught for 24 years. And one of the biggest things I would say as an educator that was most important for setting a great foundation for a school year was that communication with parents. So having that connection, building those relationships were one of the most important things that I can say affected my teaching as a whole. So after leaving the school system and deciding where to go next, I spent all that time working with the children. It was time. I just felt like this was a great place for me to be able to work with the parents from the other side of the street as in comparison to where I was before.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
That's a great perspective that you bring to the program,
Mhm.
to be able to have worked in those different positions and seen
Mhm.
children and then see the struggles, up close and personal with the families in the
Mhm.
district and when you're working with kids.
Yeah.
Right.
So, Donna, tell me something that you wish families knew earlier. I kind of switched the questions up on you guys, I know, but tell me something that you wish families knew.
I wish more families knew that they're not alone,
Mm,
that this is definitely a journey and things change. We change as people and we grow. When we know better, we do better.
Yes.
And sometimes we as parents are not forgiving to ourselves as we should be. Um, we try to paint this picture like, at some point we don't make mistakes and kids feel that. Just to know, look, my mom admitted that, hey, she messed up and it was okay. She came to me, she apologized, and we moved on. And that's what it's all about. Us being parents and educators and teaching other parents that it's okay to forgive yourself. We're gonna make mistakes. And when we do, hey, we admit it, we move on because we're modeling that behavior that we want our kids to have. And if
yes.
they don't see us make mistakes, they're gonna hide their mistakes from us. So,
Right?
yes,
What? Yes. So that is so true. And as a parent, I think being able to show that we can accept when we're wrong and
yeah,
apologize for it is so really strong for the children, or a strength that we want to show the children. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
great point. Sure
To
is.
piggyback, thinking about it, if we, one of the things I've learned, especially with being here, sharing with other parents to understand that this isn't something you're experiencing in isolation. A lot
yes.
of them are experiencing the same things. And as you are sharing with one another, when we get out of that place where we feel like we need to hide what's happening in our homes and we
Mm,
are sharing with one another,
yes,
it creates for great ways to bounce ideas off of each other. Hey,
yes.
that's not working for you. Okay, so what are you doing, or how do you
Hmm.
do this? So that's one of the biggest things that I've learned since being with Families of the Treasure Coast.
Is what I love about seeing you and Donna in front of the groups too, is that you're giving them tools and tips and guidance, but you're not telling them that you have all the answers. And
Right.
you are allowing the parents in the groups to talk about their successes and their, like you said, what worked for them, what didn't work for them.
Mhm.
And that
Hmm.
is where I really start seeing where parents, one, they get over that guilt and that shame because
Yes.
sometimes they feel that they're just not doing a good job, but they would never vocalize that, right? Who are they
Mhm.
going to vocalize it? So I think that they can be honest in the rooms and connect with each other and let go of some of the guilt that they may
Mhm.
feel because
Mhm.
they've done something that wasn't the best idea or the best choice at the time. And you're
Yeah.
right about forgiving themselves. I think one of you said
Mhm.
that earlier. Forgive yourselves for your mistakes. I think Donna
Mhm.
said that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And
I think
just
if
that's
learning
powerful.
and just picking up off of um, learning from each other
hmm
because as a grandparent, I am learning as I go because trying to raise a teenager today, some of the things that I hear in there, like, oh, Yeah, I'm gonna have to try that with my granddaughter at home. I'm gonna have to
Mhm.
try that with her. So just knowing that I too am learning. I remember as a teacher, every day I would tell the kids, I learn something new every day. I am still learning something new every day.
Yes,
That goes back to the journey, right? I mean,
yes.
that's why it's
Absolutely.
a journey. Yeah.
Yes.
So, Leilani, you've been kind of quiet over there. So, I have a question. What is something that you think adults don't always understand about teens today?
Well, I think sometimes they think it's easy growing up nowadays, but I think it can be hard.
Mm,
Mm,
Yeah.
that's a
that's a
good
good
point.
one. It
So
is.
we hear that from parents, Leilani.
Mhm.
I've
Mhm.
actually heard parents say, well, what do
They
they
have
have
it.
to be stressed about? I'm the one who has to
Absolutely.
work. I'm the one that has to pay the bills.
Mhm.
I'm
Mhm.
chauffeuring them around. So,
Mhm. They
Leilani,
have it easy.
you're right. So tell us a little bit about the stresses that a teenager faces today. I mean, I know you and I know how your school year started. I know
Mhm.
you are an incredibly smart and intelligent woman, but you had some struggles yourself this year. So you want to talk about some of those stressors and how that might affect, you know, I, I would say how it may affect your anxieties or your day-to-day stresses. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
I think what teens struggle with now is the environments they're in. So I guess like peer pressure and things that has to do a lot with everything because teens they always feel pressure to do certain things and then in their environments they're in
Mhm.
it can be a lot.
Yeah, I agree with that. There is peer pressure. I think online, I think you get peer pressure in the schools.
Mhm.
I think even when you're in certain groups and clubs, sports, activities, all of that, you get peer pressure, good and bad, right? There's good peer
Mhm.
pressure. Sometimes, peer pressure can help you excel at something because maybe you're a little competitive and you want to do something a little better than the next person. And then obviously you've got the negative, which is maybe unhealthy choices, maybe making choices that would impact your health or your well-being. Um, but I have to say one of the things I hear a lot from your age group, and I'm glad I got a chance to get you on the show today. I hear a lot from them about having anxiety. They're very anxious. And I don't understand maybe where all the anxiety comes from as a parent. But I do believe it has a lot to do with very high expectations that our kids have on themselves. And I think it is maybe something as parents we put on you without even realizing we're doing it.
Mhm.
And then I think maybe you also have a high expectations coming from social media. This is me asking a question, Leilani, because I even heard it maybe in some of the friends around you about anxiety. So could you
Mhm.
speak to some of those pressures?
I believe anxiety, well, me personally, I have a high expectations on myself because I look up to my mom and she does very well in life. So I want to reach like where she is. I know like sometimes I'll go on TikTok and I'll be seeing people like they're doing all this stuff at teens. They're like really smart, all A's, 100% in their class. That can that can affect as well. Cause then I wanna be better. I wanna be just as good as them. I wanna do all these sports, be in all these clubs, get all the good grades. But it can also be hard because sometimes that lifestyle isn't very realistic
Yeah.
for some
That's a
people.
lot
Or
of
those
pressure you put on
expectations.
yourself.
Yes, absolutely. Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
A lot of pressure, girl.
yeah, yeah.
So what can we do as parents and as educators? We're talking to the other parents. What can we share with them that could help lighten the load, so to speak, for our teenagers?
Well, what helped lighten my load was being able to talk to my grandma and my mom about like if I say I have a bad grade in something, it's just not like I'm getting attacked for it. They actually like talk to me, they ask me what I need help with. They try to get that support for me. So
That's great.
So
Yeah.
basically you're saying the teenagers are needing support through their struggles,
Just
um,
emotional support.
emotional support.
Okay.
Emotional support. That's, you know what? That's
A big
that
one.
is a big
That is a
one.
big one.
Well, I guess
That is
that
a big
brings
one.
me to my next question, actually. And I think I'm going to ask the group, all of you, what do you think some of the biggest challenges are between parents and teens right now? What do you think those challenges are?
Communication.
Yeah.
Communication. And
Boom.
I'm going to tell you, I can be the first one to admit that was a struggle for me being a mom from the 80s, 90s, coming into the 2000s, um, where the respect was expected differently.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember um, just recently having a conversation with my granddaughter where she said to me, hey, I've never disrespected you. And just remembering thinking back through the conversation, she had not disrespected me. She just didn't answer the question the way I wanted it to be answered.
Mm.
And I had to put myself back, it took me back a minute to say, hey, you know what? She's absolutely right. She has never disrespected me. She didn't talk back. She didn't say anything. She just didn't give me the answer I wanted. And I took that personal. And that was a me thing. That wasn't a her thing. And in my self reflecting on that, I had to come back and apologize for that and say, you're absolutely right. You never disrespected me. So I think the communication, and thank goodness I have a relationship with them where they can talk to me and they can tell me those things.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, something isn't, this didn't come across the right way because I didn't mean to be disrespectful. I didn't think I was being disrespectful. So I would definitely say communication and allowing these kids to be able to express themselves.
Yes. I agree wholeheartedly. And also being an active listener, because we could say we listen to our kids, but we're already formulating in our mind what we're going to say next.
That's what I was doing.
So if you just put it all out there, just to actively give them your undivided attention, not looking away, giving them eye contact, not looking at your cell phone and all of this other
Mhm.
stuff, just really being there in the moment.
Moment. Mhm.
Because
Absolutely.
if we don't listen, they're going to go to someone else
And
who's
then
going
hear
to
it, they're gonna
listen.
get. Mhm.
And then we're going to be upset because they went to somebody else.
Yes,
Right?
But
that's the second part.
they need that just like we need that. And
Yes,
it's so important to model that behavior, because I know back in the day it was, you don't do as I do, you do as I say.
absolutely.
And
Mm-hmm.
it's,
Absolutely.
you can't tell like that. That's a not a good way of parenting today. We
No.
have to be able to listen to our kids, because their thoughts, a lot of them, they're wonderful thoughts. We just don't hear
Yes.
them out enough.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
We
Yes.
just really
And that
don't.
allows them to know that what they're saying is important.
Yes.
It's important enough for me to stop what I'm doing and give you my undivided attention, and I'm listening
Yes.
to you and I'm hearing you. I'm not just listening, I'm hearing what you're saying.
Yes.
And so being an active part of that. So what I heard you say was,
Mm-hmm.
and then we repeat what they said because sometimes what I heard isn't what they said.
That's right.
So when I repeat what they said, that gives them the opportunity to correct what I didn't hear properly.
That's
Right.
right.
So I love active listening, and it is something that I've been practicing for some time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, it actually goes back to what Leilani was saying about feeling supported emotionally.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're actively listening to them, you're not fixing it. You're not
Mhm.
jumping right into what you think. You're listening
Mhm.
to what they're saying. You're
Yes.
Yes.
processing through it. That's really what they want. That's the
Yes.
support part. You don't have to
And you're
fix
not,
it.
yeah, and we're not jumping in and trying to answer for them because I like to say, how can I help? What is it I can do to support this? So it's not, they're coming up with their own, she's telling me how to help her. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not picking up my own way to help her and saying, okay, this is what I'm going to do to fix your problem. So
Yeah.
I
Exactly.
say, how can I help? And then I listen and wait on her to tell me what she needs from me.
Hmm.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
good. Yeah, because you're not taking over.
Right.
Absolutely, because
They just wanted to get it out, which
Right.
because as
y'all
parents,
need to
we
release.
like to take over. I I am struggling right now with my senior because I just want to take over for her and
Yeah.
tell her what to do. And it is a struggle for me to sit back because I want her to do everything. And because I'm thinking about when I was a senior and how I didn't get to do things. So it is
Mm-hmm.
definitely a struggle to sit back and keep your mouth closed sometimes. I'm telling you.
Well,
Yeah.
that's that balancing, their new independence and
Yes,
weighing their
yes.
safety, right?
Yes,
You want them to
yes,
be
yes,
independent, but you still worry
yes.
about their
You still
safety.
worry
Yeah.
about them, and
Yeah.
that's exactly where I am because
Mhm.
I had this whole conversation with my husband yesterday morning. I was like, "Oh my God!" I said, "I want this better than she wants this," and he was like, "Yes, you do. Yes, you do. We see it every day."
All
And I was
right.
like, so yes, definitely allowing them to grow on their own independently.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So, Mary, how does grandparenting differ, or grandparenting a teen differ from parenting one? What's the difference?
Like I said, in the past, my kids would never have said anything, and it makes me wonder now if I had allowed them to tell me how they were feeling and express themselves, how much different their lives would be. Because now I do allow my grandkids to express myself, and it's so funny because my kids are always like, "Who are you?" What did you do with my mom? Because I need to know where she is because I am just a different grandparent than I am as in a parent. And so as I'm thinking about it all the time, I'm like, okay, I'm looking at what my daughters are doing with the teens in their home versus the teen I have in my home. And I don't always agree with what they're doing. And she can to my other granddaughter can attest. So it's hard as a grandparent because I'm looking at what parents are doing. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna let her do a little bit of this, but yeah, I'm gonna pull back still, and I'm still struggling with that because I feel like the parents today give the kids a little bit too much freedom for me. And so, yeah, it is a struggle daily, I will tell you, especially when I'm looking at her friends who get to do a lot more than she gets to do because she's being raised by grandparents. And the good thing is I'm the grandparent, the one half of the grandparents that work with teenagers. So I can communicate a little bit better with her versus her granddad. We
Mm-hmm.
still got to work on him.
But you
It's
know
still
that my
work.
husband,
It's a work in progress.
just so you know, Mary, my husband had to take the class twice.
Maybe I
My
need to sign John up for real because yeah, he's not having it.
So, Leilani, I'm going to ask you from your perspective, what is the difference, with your grandmother as being with her all the time? Is she fun? Is she easy to talk to? Let's out her on the show. So,
Out, out me.
does she
Out me.
practice what she preaches, Leilani?
So she does. Like if I need anything, I can go to her. Like sometimes I'll be like, I'll just talk because with my work, I just talk to her sometimes and I'll just be ranting and she'll listen. She listens all the time. She just be repeating what I say, then she'll laugh, and then she'll go tell my mom what I said, and then we all just laughing. So I know she
Oh,
listens because she tells my mom everything I say. So
that's good.
As I,
Well,
as I fill that role, she can't miss out. She's the parent, so she can't miss out. So I have to pass it on.
that's true. That's very, very true. So you guys obviously have a great, relationship. You're very close.
Yeah.
So tell me, PTCC focuses a lot on communication. So why are those skills, important with teens? Like, how do we help teens when it comes to communicating or
teens hold in a
parents?
lot. Teens hold in a lot. So like especially nowadays because me personally, I think teens hold in a lot because it's so different than what it used to be. So we just don't feel like our parents can relate to like what we're feeling. So we just hold it in and we don't say anything.
Ah,
But
interesting.
when I
Very
do talk
interesting.
to my mom or like my grandma about things that are going on now, they just be like, "Oh yeah, we had to deal with kind of similar stuff." So I just
Mm-hmm.
feel like if teens talk to their parents, they can find similarities between them.
Yes,
But
I
that's only if they
agree.
talk.
That's great. I agree
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think sometimes just identifying the emotions that are going on when we're communicating can help bridge that. Like with kids, I think, even with parents, I notice a lot of times it's just, understanding and validating what we are feeling at the moment, and so that we can discuss it. And just like Lalani was saying, kids don't talk about it because they don't feel validated. Maybe they're going to feel judged, I guess is what I was hearing from her. And that's one of the things I think that we do really well, is working with parents on not being judged, and going back to that active listening. I think the other thing is listening without fixing, like we were saying, staying
Mhm,
Yes.
calm. That's the
mhm,
hardest one, I think, for parents
mhm,
that we do,
mhm,
is staying calm, right?
Mm-hmm.
mhm.
And
Yes.
we do all have to work. I even have to work on that still.
Mhm,
And
mhm,
I've been doing this for what, 15 plus years. I don't want to say how many, but I still have to remember, okay, why am I upset?
Mm-hmm.
What is this feeling? Why, and start thinking it through so that I can stay calm before I react. And that's
Yes.
one of the things I think, teaching that, one of the tools that we give parents and how to do that. And we do give great specific tools for that when we're in the classes. And
Mm-hmm.
then, the other thing is, how do we repair those relationships after we've had those tough times? So,
Yes.
Leilani and Mary, have you guys ever had any conflict that you can remember where afterwards you had to kind of repair any damage that may have been done?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, we're human. Um, there, I think my feelings are more hurt than theirs. And I think Lonnie may feel the same way, like her feelings are more hurt. But yeah, we went through a time where I felt like she didn't like me. And I shared that with her, right? And
Mhm.
and I don't know how she felt. I know how I felt. So I'll let her tell you from her perspective. Um I did share how I felt.
I just felt hurt that she thought I didn't like her.
Oh,
It hurt me.
Yeah. So, but yeah, and piggybacking off what Kim was saying, one of the things that we do well in this program is we teach our parents how to begin those hard conversations,
Yes.
because sometimes when they're hard, we try to avoid them, which
Mm-hmm.
is not good for the kids. So one of the things is we teach you how to start that conversation. We teach you how
Mm-hmm.
to sit down with your children or your teenagers and have those hard conversations, because yes, they have to be had. And I'm not going to tell you I handled it the right way when I just said, I just think you don't like me. That's the bottom line. I've just come to realize you don't like me. And then it opened the doors. It may have not have been the right way to start the conversation pre PTCC before I started teaching PTCC, but that is how we did it, because I've always been that communicator with my grandchildren, with my kids. We've always talked. I've just learned how to be softer about it and approach it differently.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I love the fact that you put it out there.
I did.
You didn't know quite how to say it, so you say,
Right,
"Look, this needs to be said." So
right,
I'm just gonna put it out there
right,
and let the
right.
chips fall as they may.
And
So,
it's so funny
mm,
because I think when I did it with the TikTok, wasn't it one of those TikTok things we were doing?
Was it? I think it
you did it
was.
on a TikTok.
We were playing a family
We were
game or
playing a
something.
family game on TikTok with the TikTok. What was it? Where they, I don't even
Was it
remember,
for
but
Christmas?
it was like something about how you don't, I don't even remember how it went, but it was a TikTok and it was like um
Oh, I know which one you're talking about when we were out there.
Yeah, and it was like, and I know you really don't like me or something like that. And then
Yes,
it
I
was,
remember that.
but it did lead to the
Hey,
conversation. I
but
got
that's
it.
a great way to show how just playing games
Yeah,
and just
Yes.
those small teachable moments come
it
up.
was. It
And yeah,
was.
that's great. That's awesome. So I'm going to ask you, Donna, can you think of one moment where you saw a parent or even a teen that really got it during the sessions that you can remember? Because when I was doing the teaching, I got to tell you, I could literally see sometimes
That light
where the
bulb.
light bulb goes off,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah. The light bulb goes off and it's so rewarding on the inside. Um, I think I was at White City Elementary and we were in the cafeteria and I was sharing with the class that I am a reformed yeller. Do I have any witnesses? So people started raising their hands and stuff, and I was like, yeah, yeah, I would tell my kids that when I go in the restroom, it's like your sanctuary. It's your place where you can be by yourself. And I tell you, every time I shut that door, there was a knock. Soon as I sat on the toilet, soon as I turned the shower on, it was something. So this particular day, I told the kids, I have two kids, a son and a daughter. They were like 5 and 8. I said, I'm going in the restroom. Do not come and get me unless someone is bleeding. If they're not bleeding, it can wait. Soon as I turned the shower on, and I heard my daughter, Genesis, Mom, Mom, and I yelled to the top of my lungs, what? Shower! Someone was on the phone. She did not mute it, and they heard me.
Mm,
And my face could have just
Oh my
dropped on the
goodness.
floor. She was like, here. And she handed me the phone. And I could hear them saying, Donna, you should be ashamed of yourself yelling at those kids. I was like, you didn't even mute the phone for your mama? Light bulb for me. After that, we had a family meeting and I set the kids down and we had a talk about me yelling because if I'm not brutally honest, it's not going to be a change in my behavior. So I just had to kind of put it out there.
Mhm.
I said, look, I have a problem when I'm in the restroom and you come and knock on the door. I want to be a better mom, not just a better mom, but a better person. Can you help me? Can you please help me? So my son, he raised his hand. Am I gonna get in trouble? Am I gonna get a whooping? I said, no, I want you to tell me the truth. And he said, Mama, you got to stop all that yelling. And I heard it. The light bulb went off.
Mhm.
I was not only embarrassed because someone else heard me act that way, but because my son told me eyeball to eyeball that I was yelling and I just needed to stop that.
Mhm.
And from that day on, it helped me. I was able to trust my kids because they told me that, look, Mama, I think you're a great mom, but it's some things that you still need to work on. And that's one of them. You got to stop all that yelling. And I said, okay, I give you permission when I yell to let me know. And my son, he's a jokester. Are you sure I'm not going to get in trouble when I tell you you're yelling at me? I said, I promise you're not going to get in trouble. And that was the start of me becoming a reformed yeller. You have to just put yourself out there.
you do, you do. And one of the things about not yelling is the children respond better when you're not yelling. And if you're yelling, you're not listening.
Yes.
And if you are yelling about bad behaviors, or I should say inappropriate behaviors,
Yes.
or behaviors you don't like, they're
Mhm.
really shutting down on you.
Mm-hmm.
They're either shutting down or they're just not listening, one or the other.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So you're right. PTCC does a great job at kids, or I'm sorry, parents, teaching parents tips and tools so they don't have to yell and they can
Mhm.
stop nagging.
Yes.
I've got to
Yes.
get a
And
drink,
and
excuse me.
and honestly, it's not just parents because I can tell you as a teacher, that was one of the things that at my pivotal point in my teaching career that I learned when
Mm-hmm.
I was yelling. But I want to say I yelled more as a newer teacher.
Mm.
And the more senior I became, the
Yes.
less I yelled and the
Yeah.
more I listened.
Mm-hmm.
And so, in general, I think what we offer is something that is beneficial across your life.
Yes. It's a journey.
It's yeah, it isn't just for parenting. It improves you as an individual.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It
Yeah.
does.
And then by me sharing that story with that class,
Mhm, mhm.
everyone could resonate with that. Because
Absolutely.
even though they did not acknowledge that they were
They were one of
yellers,
those
I
people.
could see it on their face.
Yes,
So
Mhm.
yes,
they
yes,
could
yes,
really relate
yes.
to that. But
So, Leilani, do you feel like the adults in your life outside of your family, you feel like those adults that maybe your coaches or teachers, do they do a good job listening?
No.
No.
mm,
Well, there's some adults that can listen, that do listen, but there's others who just won't hear anybody out. So,
mm,
Because that's how Lonnie became a part of this particular program. If you don't want to, if you quickly share.
yeah, that's why I came here because when I was trying to speak out to the adults, they still weren't listening when I was trying. So I requested help from my grandma, and she was the one who helped me get my help that I needed.
mm-hmm.
And this was other adults you were trying to get help from, and they just weren't listening to you.
Mhm.
And it was so funny because of one of our other programs, we offer the PEP program. One of the things that it talks about is helping people, empowering people to do those things, to learn to communicate, to learn to do those things. And she just one day said, "Mom, I need pep. I need pep too. I need pep in my life." And so, and then we were like, she's like, "Can teenagers have pep? Because we need pep in our lives too." And so it was
Mm-hmm.
funny because that is how we started working with the teenagers. The leadership group that we have is
Mm-hmm.
through them seeking to be a part of PEP. And once she told her friends about it, they wanted to be a part of PEP. And before you knew it, we had a group of kids that wanted to be, they wanted to be empowered to speak up for
Yeah.
themselves, to be able to communicate with those adults who were not hearing what they were saying. So they were looking for ways to make that happen.
Excellent, excellent. So, how did you enjoy the PTCC classes, Leilani? Tell me what you liked about it.
How free, like, we can just talk freely because
Mm.
I can admit, well, I wouldn't say I'm weird, but well, yes, I'm weird in a good way. So I just like being able to talk and just rant and just be
Yeah,
myself. And I feel like those classes allow me to be myself while also talking about my problems.
right?
Yeah, you had to get it out, girl.
Love it. Love
Right.
it.
Yeah. And I loved how you guys, when you were working on some of your projects in the class and your activities, I love those conversations that you were having. They were so insightful for us as adults to really learn that you guys have those kind of struggles. And, the perspective, from teenage, it's been a long time since we were teenagers, Leilani. So to hear from teenagers what's going on, it's really empowering for us, helps
Mhm.
us do a much better job in preparing the parents for it.
Mhm.
So I
Mhm.
appreciate everything that you brought to the group also.
Mhm.
So what do you guys think parents or grandparents, caregivers, adults don't know about or have barriers to coming to support and connection groups such as Parenting Community Connection? What do you think some of the barriers or struggles are?
Start with just not knowing that we are here. Because even as an educator for 20 something years, I never heard about Families of the Treasure Coast until my last year of teaching. So just not knowing,
Not knowing,
just not knowing
just not
that there
knowing.
is support out there for them.
You are so right. There is so much
Mhm.
support in St. Lucie County. That's one thing that St. Lucie County does a really great job of is connecting other organizations. You're right. Parents just don't know. They just don't know. Yeah. Shout out to the Children's Services Council too, that actually
Absolutely.
does fund, I think, over 50 plus programs
Yes.
in
Right.
St. Lucie County, all free for parents, including Parenting Community Connection.
Yes.
So we have some great things. You're right that parents just don't know about. I think the other thing that parents don't come to sessions for parents or workshops for parents and teens is I feel like they think they're going to be judged.
Yes.
Yeah. A lot of
Yeah.
them.
Especially with male
They do.
parents.
And
Speak up.
So I think with especially with like dads and male parents, I think especially them.
So
And
Leilani, what if Joe came to the sessions? How would you feel about that?
I
It's
wouldn't be
okay.
mad.
No, it wouldn't make you feel uncomfortable. So just the
No,
dad energy coming to the sessions, what is it you think is harder?
I don't know. I just think I'm gonna speak for my dad when I say this is I think well, he doesn't have a problem with being judged, but I just think dads in general, they just like they're really manly and I think they think like the parenting classes are more of a feminine thing and they don't want to get
Oh,
into that kind of stuff.
Mhm,
I
mhm.
love
And I was
that
going to say that.
point.
Yeah, I like that point too. I think that's a great point. Just
It is an
to,
excellent
yeah,
point.
yeah.
And I'm going to speak real quick to one of the classes you did, Mary, where we
Mhm.
had two fathers in there. One of them, I just thought he was grumpy. And
Yes,
turns out he was
yes.
not grumpy at all.
He was
And
not.
at all, he was
He was
wonderful.
not. He was
And when
not.
I saw, and I understand what Leilani's seeing because or hearing and observed because
Yes,
I agree with you. Men tend to have more of a wall when it
yes,
comes to the parenting. It's like they take that masculine approach, and that's
yes,
the stand they're taking.
yes, yes.
But I
And I
watched.
remember, yeah, and I remember you saying after the first class when we were waiting on the second class and no one was there yet, you're like, yeah, they're probably not gonna, those men are probably not gonna come back. And they came for every session.
They did, and they loved it.
They
Those
loved
two
every
guys
session.
were great. And then they
They
paired
did.
up for activities
Yes,
and they just had a great time with their
they
role
did.
playing and their
They did.
activities. Yeah.
They did. And
And
and we
and
definitely did think that they were going to come. I was like, well, they had fun,
right.
but they did come back for every session. He did not, the Grumpy did not miss one session.
Not one. Not one. And he told me how much he enjoyed the classes and how much he
Yes,
had learned.
yes,
So that's
yes.
wonderful. And Leilani, thank you for bringing that up because
Mhm.
I agree with you wholeheartedly that the dads need to have those relationships with their kids too. It's not
yes.
just moms raising these kids. And I think dads are spending a lot more time nurturing children.
Mhm,
I think they're spending more time in the household overall. So
mhm.
yeah, sometimes dads should really consider getting some
And
tips and tools themselves.
and
Yeah.
we have so many more single fathers. It is so
Raising
much more
children,
common
yes.
as yes, yes, it's a
Yeah.
much more common thing.
And how many co-parenting situations do we see too? We have so many co-parenting situations,
Loads.
right? And so that's where all of those, communication and connection and all of that really matters and key in the
Right.
co-parenting. Yeah.
It does. And just knowing that at Families of the Treasure Coast that we're flexible with their schedules. So if you
Excellent.
can't meet in a
Excellent.
group, we might do something virtual, or you may feel more comfortable doing a one-on-one.
Mhm.
And we
Thank
will work
you.
around the schedules, to make sure that the families are supported.
You're right. That was one of the things we really did early on with the planning, was we wanted to remove those issues like travel time,
Mm-hmm.
scheduling, childcare. So yes, we do offer them online. They could do online one-on-one. They could do small groups. So
Mm-hmm.
you're right. That's a fantastic thing to leave them with. Well, you guys have been amazing. So if I just want to give a couple of rapid fire questions so we can kind of round things off. I'm going to ask Donna real quick. One rule you said you'd never break, but you did.
One rule,
Yes.
uh, as a parent or as
No,
a
just as a person. It was supposed to be fun, Donna. I didn't mean to
I
trip you up.
I know. I'm trying to think of something that's really really good.
All right, I'll go on
Uh,
to Leilani.
yeah.
Leilani,
Yeah.
if you could give parents one piece of advice, what would it be?
So listen to your teens.
How did I know that's what she was going to say? To listen.
It's great.
And where can they learn to listen, Leilani?
PTCC.
That's right. So seriously, parenting community connection, that is what we're here for to help you, increase your communication. But listening is an active skill, like Mary was
It
Yes.
saying.
is.
And I don't think a lot of people know how to do that, but it's not something we do innately. We all, like you said, have our own verbal dialogue and
Mhm,
going on in
mhm,
there.
We do.
mhm,
Yeah.
We
So
do.
I just want to say that PTCC is there to be supportive, non-judgmental, to make sure that families aren't alone. You guys all said this, that connected part,
Mm-hmm.
and and stop parenting in a silo, right? Stop
Yeah.
mhm,
stop
mhm,
parenting
mhm.
and thinking that you're the only one going through it because you're not. And we could all do better if we just stay connected, don't feel
Yeah.
alone. Yes.
Yeah.
And the PTC tips and tools that we give them, they're great skills. They're
Mhm,
practical, they're easy, they're real, and they're connections that can really build a firm foundation.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so is there anything that you want to say, like one sentence about the classes or anything special any of you'd like to say? No?
they're not your traditional classes. So when you come to these classes, just don't expect to be sitting at a desk writing. Expect to be up, talking to each other, communicating, doing hands-on activities. Um, expect interaction.
Yes.
Yeah.
You are right about that. These are not boring at all. We always, and even me, which I've seen this class done in different ways, in different settings, it's always different and it's always fun. So
Yes.
I credit both you and Donna for making sure that it's fun. So I want to make sure everybody knows where they can find the Parent Teen Community Connection. And that is online at familiesofthetreasurecoast.org. Our phone number is 772-302-3147. Or they can find us on Facebook, Instagram. Check us out on YouTube. We're also there, Families of the Treasure Coast. But I definitely encourage you to connect with us and connect with your community. And if there's anything that I think that you guys would like to add, maybe you could talk about how you've strengthened any connections with yourself. Anything else?
Yeah, I think it's very important just for all of us just to self-reflect. Like I said at the beginning, we're all on a journey and we can all make improvements. Be forgiving to yourself. You're only human and we're learning more and more each day. And if we open up our heart a little bit more, we'll be able to receive more and we'll be able to
Mhm,
help more people.
mhm,
Oh, I think that is beautiful. I think that is a great way to end our podcast, Donna. Thank you so much for that. I think that that small advice is something
mhm.
that everybody can take with them this evening and take and practice at home. So thank you for that. I thank Donna Gibson for being a lifelong friend at this point, my dear, and also an incredible educator. a star in St. Lucie County. Mary, who is going to be also a lifelong friend, I know it. Mary Stevens, who I couldn't be more happy joining Families of the Treasure Coast, and Leilani, our rising star in leadership, who has
Yeah.
been such a great support since you have joined the leadership group. And I enjoy just being in your presence. So thank you for coming on the podcast. And again, I hope everybody has an amazing afternoon. I want you to
Well,
know that the help is out there. Check us out, familiesoftheTreasureCoast.org, where strong families aren't built on perfection, they're built on connection.
Yes.
love it.
I love it.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.